World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Good afternoon. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, The Art of War. I hope all is well with you. We're getting close to the warmer weather, which I love. I'm a Juneteenth baby, and I just prefer it to be warm than cold. Nevertheless, spring is here. As well as the allergies. So it's a yin and yang thing with me. I love the spring, but sometimes I suffer around this time with allergies. But nevertheless, I'm here, and that's a blessing. And I think that everyone who is watching or hearing this, you are blessed, because a lot of people didn't make the cut this morning. So welcome. Today, I have two guests. My first guest is a person that I've known for a number of years. He's an entrepreneur. He's done so much work with Harlem Week. I introduced him to Harlem Week many years ago, and now he's kind of doing so many more things. One interesting thing as it relates to being part of the Harlem Tourism Board, he and his partner are developing an interesting project that will take place on around 12th Avenue by the river, the Harlem Rocket, which is a boat that we'll talk a little bit about it. Maybe sometime in the future, a Ferris wheel there. I've seen some of that conversation. I've heard some of that conversation. So we'll be talking to him. Our second guest, Maleeka Mo, she handles the open mic for singers at the Company in Harlem Club. The Company in Harlem Club will be part of our ongoing project. Jamie and Miss Sunshine is really developing a way to allow for us to use a number of different tools to promote the GoHarlem.org project that we've been working on for some time now, but will become the major focus for people who are interested in the Harlem tourism and hospitality uh, uh, industry. Nikki Sunshine and is taking the lead on that, and as owner of the Harlem Comedy Club, you'll be hearing a lot about that location. One of the few, I think maybe the only one now in Upper Manhattan. But nevertheless, I'd like to bring on a good friend, brother I've known for some years. Actually, his wife, who's an architect, was a student of mine when I was at City College, which is how I met Michael through his wife. But great brother, entrepreneur, does all kinds of things, and I'm just happy that he's given us a little bit of time. So please welcome Michael Preston.
Hey, Tony Rogers, how you doing?
Hey, Michael Preston, how are you doing?
The man, the myth, the legend. I'm great. And I listened to the introduction and I think back, and it's been more than 3 decades that we started down this path of working. Yes, because remember, the twins will be 29 this year, and it's long before they were born. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
29.
So, yes.
Man.
So, thank you. It's been a wonderful experience, all of the mentoring that I've gotten, both from you and from, of course, Lloyd Williams at the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce and Harlem Week, has afforded me to do many things, and a lot of them in the spirit and the essence of how I actually grew up in Harlem, as my father was a musician and a poet and an artist. So, it is core to who I am, and how I grew up with music and jazz musicians always in my house, and producing events and activities with as a family, whether it was a photography show or a music show and a dance show, we did it all as a family. But
That's
like,
interesting. I don't think I knew that your father was an artist.
yeah, he was a jazz musician, and he had a special talent where he could play any instrument. So his main instrument was the saxophone, and he was a pickup artist. But he could play any instrument: guitar, piano, harmonica, flute, clarinet. You had it. We as children felt it was disgusting because we had to really work at it.
Do you play an instrument?
I've studied the piano and harmonica.
Uh-huh.
So for all of my life
as harmonica lessons. I've always wanted to, ever since Stevie Wonder.
Exactly. And he was my favorite artist. And so it led me down this path. Also a graduate of City College. So I'm there. I'm right there with you. And as is my business partner, Gary Johnson, who is also a graduate of City College. I got Gary out of a lot of trouble when he was at City College. Yes. So, but we're here to talk about the Harlem Rocket. And thank you for the opportunity. This is a path that Gary and I ventured down several years ago. Initially, we were going to launch a ferry service in Jamaica, West Indies. Mm-hmm. And, just before the pandemic, we pivoted so that we would start and do our proof of concept and initial maritime operation here in New York, in Harlem, at the West Harlem Piers. On record still from a decade ago till today, we are still the only Black-owned tourism maritime operating company in New York and several states surrounding us. So It's interesting because as we travel through the industry and talk to the ferry operators, they know us well, and we know all of them, and we are what they say, those guys. And they can say those guys because we're the only Black operators in the industry. And so we are looking to take full advantage of the opportunity and bringing it to Harlem. And it is going to be the first daily seasonal family fun attraction, tourism attraction in Harlem. There is actually none other like it in
And
Harlem.
describe it for when we come. This was kind
Yes,
of when we get closer to the summer, because I know that you have a
right.
lot of promotional things about what the rocket looks like and all of that. We have to do another piece with that. But describe it.
So the Harlem Rocket is a 60-foot open air, which means it doesn't have walls, speedboat. So it will do a tour leading from the West Harlem Piers at 125th Street. We'll go south a little bit so we can talk about the waterfront just south of 125th Street to about 110th, and then we'll pivot and go north all the way up to between the Bronx and Manhattan, which is called Spite and Dival Creek, and give history along the waterfront, whether it's the Little Red Lighthouse or the George Washington Bridge or other sightseeing components. And we'll give the history from a Black and brown perspective. Black people who operated on the waterfront over the many years, and then we'll pivot and come back down south to 125th Street as a speedboat thrill ride. We'll crank up the music and do some spins, some twists, some swirls, and then it's a 40-minute tour. So you get on at 125th Street and you get off at 125th Street. And then we'll do that 7 times a day. And the last tour will be a sunset tour. So we'll go down to the Statue of Liberty, catch the sun as is, going down, and people will be able to get those views and those shots, on the
How
water.
far can that? I mean, the boat. What's the range of the boat?
Oh, well, the boat has 600 gallons of fuel. It can go around Manhattan several times. But, that is, we are trying to be intentional about what we're exposing, particularly young people, because one of our mantras is a kid can't be what a kid can't see. So
Right.
what we mean by that is we will expose young people to the various opportunities on the waterfront. They'll understand what it means for the marketing. They'll understand what it means for just the whole operation. But then whether you're a deckhand, a captain, a first mate, those are all qualifications that can take you around the world in maritime. What most people don't realize, at least they didn't until the pandemic, is that almost everything you wear or use or eat has touched the water in some point in its trip to you. So whether it's built overseas or created overseas or put together overseas, almost everything, every car, yes, there are some manufacturing plants in the United States, but almost everything has traveled by water to get to you. And who doesn't like being on the water? This is just a fun, enjoyable experience. And that's what, my job as governmental affairs and customer experience VP, we are going to create memories for people, whether it's just the thrill ride, whether it is the information, or whether it is when we have our drone technology in operation and we're capturing bird's eye view of you on the vessel.
Now, as you know, the history of the tourism industry here in Harlem, which was started really with it was then the Uptown Chamber of Commerce. But I remember when we were working with Circle Line, once they got to 96th Street, they took a break and then didn't come back until the George Western
Right.
Bridge. So we had to give them all of the information about Harlem and all of the stuff that actually you're talking to. But
Sure.
being a
That,
Harlem kid, I remember many. They used to have a Father's Day boat ride
yes.
that would leave from the pier. My
Go up to Bear
dad
Mountain.
was one of the security guards there. Would go to Bear Mountain,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
that was and when we were really young, which is interesting. People used to swim. You could go to the pier and jump into the water. Matter of fact, they're bringing beaches back.
Yes.
I think they're bringing some beaches back. So
Yes.
that's
Right now,
interesting.
that's on the east. That's on the East River, but not the Hudson. So, for me, growing up in Harlem, also, I remember taking Circle Line, whether it was around Manhattan or up to Bear Mountain. There were day trips on the water.
Mhm.
I remember going up to the Spite and Dival Creek, where the Columbia Sea is on the cliffs, and wondering, one, how they get that sea up there and who paints it, and two, getting the history of it and how people started jumping off those cliffs just for a thrill. I'm not a cliff diver, so I'm not doing it. But Tony, I'll take you back a little further, um, because as a child, we used to go up to Palisades Amusement Park.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I
which was
mean, in my
across
block, I
in.
lived on 133rd Street and Convent Avenue, and I could
Okay.
look up and see the amusement park. So
Yes.
every day, every night we would see this place. So that was the
Yes.
place to go.
Interestingly enough, we lived on 115th Street in St. Nicholas, right at 100, and you could actually see it because of the angle of the building. You could actually see, because the Palisades was so high that you caught the Ferris wheel and
Yeah,
on
well,
and the
we could
roller
see it
coaster.
directly. If you were on
Right.
133rd Street and Convent Avenue, you could look directly and see the Ferris wheel and all of that stuff. So as a kid, our parents
Hmm.
thought, hell, we gotta go, we gotta go there. We gotta go there. But the
So
Hudson
Tony, let me
Bell
tell
was the
you.
ship. The Hudson
Okay.
Bell was the ship that used to every Father's Day used to take people to Bear Mountain. That was the name of it.
So let me tell you just a little bit about it, because you mentioned Circle Line, and Circle Line is a supporter of ours.
Hmm.
They don't see us as a threat, even though they operate a vessel that is the same type. It's
Yeah,
called the Beast,
the
and
beach.
that's down
Right.
on 42nd Street. So it's great. They see us as a nice entry into what is going to be Harlem tourism on the waterfront. But one of our first sponsors is Universal Soul Circus. So they
Okay.
partnered with us, and they'll be coming to town soon, and they will be marketing us. We'll be marketing them. And they came in and said, hey, we're getting started, and it's wonderful to see that this is happening in Harlem, and eventually they would like to do something in Harlem. But
Matter of fact,
another sponsor, go ahead.
no, I was gonna, go finish with the sponsors because I was gonna ask
Yeah,
you about the Ferris wheel.
another sponsor of ours is a company called Ray Marine. And Ray Marine is one of the largest electronics maritime companies. And they literally put an entire suite of electronics, so we have the right cameras and, all the sonars and radars. And, they told us our suite of electronics is second only to the Coast Guard. And, the Coast Guard is excited for us because, as you know, Dr. Zita Merchant is the first Black woman to be the regional director of
Of the Coast
the
Guard.
New York City region. So we have, over the years, developed great relationships with all of the other maritime companies, but also our sponsors who are bringing some great advertising and marketing to us because they want to see us succeed.
And plus, it's going to. I mean, Columbia
Excuse me.
University is really doing a lot of work in that area. So there's going to be that is going to be a fantastic location with all of the different things that have taken place, the landscaping and we are, and you can tell by the success of Marco's Harlem Night
Yes,
Market. Uh, we used to do that. If I don't know whether were you with us when we used to do things in that area.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
We
that
used to
must have
do our
been
bus tours and the restaurant tours over
right.
there. Yes.
But
So, fortunately for us, Columbia University is excited about what we're doing, and we're having really good conversations with them. And I'm actually scheduled to have a follow-up conversation with them this Friday. So things are moving well. As we're preparing to launch this summer. It will be a shorter season as the vessel is now in overhaul and being prepped for this year. Last month, we were able to take seven, seven young people uh, from ages 7 to 18 to the shipyard, and they got to experience the vessel, as they say, on the hard, being
mm,
worked on. It's brand new coats of paint, it's brand new decks, brand new seats. They're putting the nice red hard top on it. This is going to be like a carrot top. This is, it's a bright yellow and red vessel. It's 60 feet long, more than 16 feet wide, and it seats 90 passengers. So,
mm.
so
How
we're
many
gonna
trips
have
per day?
we're doing seven
Mhm.
seven trips per day.
That's interesting. I know one thing. It just dawned on me. Um, the Fourth of July should be an interesting way to see the fireworks if you're going all the way to the
We
Statue of
are
Liberty.
we are hoping that, as it looks right now, we should be in the water. We may not be able to have paying customers. That may be a private, investor event where they go on. But yes, that would be a wonderful opportunity, and we look to do that and have charters also for companies and corporations who want to then see New York by night and just look at the skyline, the lights, things of that nature. We can do that as well.
Mm.
So, in working with the board of the Department of Ed now, they're looking to have young people come in on our A Kid Can't Be What a Kid Can't See platform, so that we can educate them in maritime activities and opportunities and create a pathway into the maritime industry. And then we're doing the same thing with many of the groups like the YMCA and charter schools and Boys and Girls Club. So there's a great opportunity of exposing young people to this maritime industry and have fun while doing it, because again, remember, it is a thrill ride. And, as we like to say, come ride the rocket.
Well, again, it's kind of interesting too. What Fleet Week starts because we're getting into so the timing of having you on talking about maritime stuff. The Navy is always a good way to get some skills to do other things. But what you're doing uh, is interesting. Two things, because I know that your time is short. One um, is the Jamaica project still on the
Yes.
drawing board?
Yes. We still have, in 2013, we were able to acquire about 5 New York City blocks of waterfront property, and we still have the lease on that. And the Jamaica project is still on the board. And this vessel type is going to be our first product. We have dinner cruises, we have ferry services. So those are the multiple opportunities that lie ahead.
And the ferry service is going to cut the time to get to, because when you land in Jamaica, there's like if you want to go to like Ocho Rios, and there's like a 3 hour drive.
That's just under a 3 hour drive. And if you're going to the grill, it's just under a 2 hour drive.
And the grill has some of the best beaches but it's a long way. So most people don't always go there.
Yeah, so under the Paradise Express Ferry brand, so the Harlem Rocket is by Paradise Express Ferry. It is our first product, but the ferry service is the actual brand in Jamaica. And what we'll do there is people will get on in Montego Bay and go to Ocho Rios, or get on and go to Negril. And when they get on, we say, of course, welcome to paradise. Your vacation starts here. So just like when you come to 125th Street, you're going to be welcome to the Harlem Rocket, and then your excursion and your thrill ride is going to start immediately. So we're creating memories that are going to last a lifetime.
Now, what's this about a Ferris wheel coming to 12th Avenue?
So just as a point of reference, we have a vision, and our vision is to create that waterfront as a destination. And we are looking at a 3-phase possibility in our vision. One, of course, we're moving forward with the Harlem Rocket. 2, we're looking at developing the first maritime museum dedicated to Blacks in maritime. It'll be a training center, a museum. It will, have some restaurants, and activate that waterfront so that you can then bring vessels there and operate from that location. There's idea of having hybrid research vessels for whether it's Columbia or City College, who both have climate change and environmental change schools under their leadership. And they are looking to do, in conversation with both of those universities, separate and together, they're looking to be doing research on that waterfront. So that would be phase 2. And then phase 3, of course, if we could, like Navy Pier, or like Atlanta, or Wildwood in New Jersey, or Seattle, put a 180-foot Ferris wheel that would operate not the 600-foot Ferris wheel that was talking about for Staten Island, but something that would create a destination by having those 3 entities, as well as developing the opportunity for local businesses to establish, whether it's a local restaurant or Ben and Jerry's or a thrift shop or a souvenir space right up under the viaduct. Now you create a destination in Harlem, and that would change the economic drive in that region, where once it was blight, but now you have Marco, as you said earlier, with Uptown Night Market coming. You have the new restaurant Panda. You have the Steel Beach of the Baylander, 123 Burger, and of course, a staple of Dinosaur. That will complement the $6 billion that Columbia has just put into that region. As you know, they're also bringing a hotel. So we believe that this type of development creates Harlem waterfront as a destination. And, the waterfront throughout New York City has been developed south of 96th Street, both east and west. But north of 96th Street, it has not been developed. There's also conversation about the African burial ground that's on the east side of 125th Street. And we would look to have a pier there and then do tours from the west side of 125th Street north to the east side of 125th Street and create a nice little loop given the history of the waterfront, the history of the Spite Dival Creek, and then the history of the burial ground on East Harlem.
Okay, well,
so there's a lot going on that
there's a lot
for
going
people
on.
to
One
see.
of the things that we'll work out, and I'm sure we can do that, is that the GoHarlem.org website will be the main site for the Harlem tourism and hospitality industry. At some point, we want to work out a way where you can book your ride on the Harlem Rocket before you get here. You know,
absolutely.
Working with the hotels that are coming up and all of the things that are happening. So the tourism and hospitality industry, as you know, we've been dealing with this since the beginning, since 1974. This dream that the Honorable Percy Sutton had with tourism and what that is going to do. But the things that we're talking about now has the ability to allow for so much more. Plus, as you said, Columbia is putting a lot of money into that area, and I hopefully I'll be moving a little slow by the time that it develops, but thanks to Soul City, we can say how it started. We can record the history of it. And I'm kind of glad that I took you and Gary under the wing. Maybe I can get a couple of free rides.
Oh, absolutely. As a mentor, definitely. A couple of things, Tony, I'd like to just add. One, that of course our website, harlemrocket.com, is being upgraded and renovated now, or revamped, I should say, so that ticket purchases can be had right there and scheduled. Our POS system is being implemented, and the schedule will be intact for that as we launch starting in July. Mm-hmm. The other thing is right now, till June 2nd. Oh, Tony, I did want to say, I know you said you're a Juneteenth baby, but I am June 1st. And so, I kick off the June month with my birthday. And so, and we're Geminis in the
Geminis, we try to stay together. At least one of us, it's two of us, so we're all over the place.
Yes. So we have our crowdfunding that's going on till June 2nd. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's Indiegogo, and go to Indiegogo.com and just look up Harlem Rocket and join, get a ticket purchase package. We like to say the captain's level is best. And while, yes, people say, oh, it's $500, but it's free for life after that for $4, whether it's every day, every week, every month, every season, free for life for $4. And that's some kind of perk that you can get. And then we always welcome,
give the site where people can make donations again.
That is, right now it's Indiegogo, INDIEGOGO.com. And you look up Harlem Rocket in their search engine, and you'll see the speedboat come right up.
So that's INDIEGO.com.
GOGO, Indiegogo, 2 G's. And then you just search for Harlem Rocket. And then lastly, Tony, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, there's an equity opportunity as well. And, if somebody wants to invest and have an ownership stake, then they can go, they can email me at mpreston@paradiseferry.com.
which is this is a great investment for the future because um, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. So
Yes.
I want to have you back to talk about a number of things, but
Right.
obviously, through Soul City and the Harlem Community News and WACR, we have to get the first hand as far as the announcements of when you're going to start and
I will make sure you have it.
and put all of those things together. And anyway, Michael Preston, I am proud of you, my brother. I didn't realize it was 30 years, but
It has been
I guess
plus
I guess you did pick up a couple of things,
one or two, one or two. You
but
know,
I know that you're on your way. Matter of fact, I believe tomorrow is the Harlem Week partners meeting, right?
yes.
Yeah, so to find out some of the things that are happening there, and for those who I talk to as far as exhibitors, this is Michael Preston. I always would say you
Mhm.
try to reach Michael. He might help you, but Michael is busy now, so I'm not sure what we're going to do. You got to
Oh
find out.
well,
You got to
I'm,
pass it forward and find another Michael.
yes, we'll find another Michael. In the meantime, I am still managing the exhibitors for Harlem Week,
Yeah,
and we will be a busy, busy, busy summer.
I'm
You know,
sure.
yes,
We'll miss Pam Lee passed, but Pam was my first inductee into the whole exhibit component when she was in sneakers and a little dress coming into for
yes,
an internship and started this exhibitor where there are hundreds and hundreds of exhibitors now as we
yes,
expanded. And then I talked Michael into it. I don't
yes.
know, between you, Pam, Winston, and Marco, I guess I left a number of different
That's the
legacies
legacy. That's a good. That's a good
that
thing.
that hopefully I'm saying that because this is being recorded, and one of these days people will look back at it. So
Sure.
I'm talking about history now, so it's not so much as bragging. I just want to make sure people know
Oh
that
no, it's
there's,
actually,
there's a
your
foundation.
mentorship has been phenomenal. It's taken me around the world, and I've been able to. I tell people I've lived and live a blessed life because of it. Just the opportunity that we've had to work with, major, all the major artists, but also presidents of this country and others. So it's been phenomenal, and I take it with me everywhere I go.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Harlem Rocket, those who uh, are not
Yes, come ride the
swimmers, don't
rocket.
worry, there'll be life jackets. So we want you to don't be
Oh,
afraid of the
absolutely.
water. Thank you,
Yes.
Mike. I know that you're running, and we appreciate you. We'll have you back on right before the first rocket ride. We
Sure. And we'll bring Gary with
we
me.
have to
Definitely.
film that too. That'll be historic.
Oh,
So I
yes.
have to talk Matt into doing a special around that. So uh, that first launch. Take care, my brother,
All
and
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
So again, the Harlem Rocket will take place this June, July actually, because I think June will just be some test runs. Now, I have another guest, and I'm not sure whether Maleeka was able to get on, but if she's on, I would like to introduce Maleeka Mo, who's a singer. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Maleeka?
Great.
Oh,
I'm trying to get away from these. I'm still at work, so let me
okay. Well,
get
I
me.
don't want you to I don't want you to get in any trouble.
No. I'm not in trouble, but there's so many different offices in this building
Uh-huh.
that they have other things and I can't control.
Well,
You know.
let's do the best we can. One of the things, Malika is a singer,
Mm-hmm.
And she also is the MC for the open mic, and you've been doing that for some time now at the Comedy in
Yes.
Harlem Club,
Yes.
who has now partnered with the Harlem Tourism Board to begin to do a number of different things.
Nice.
But I know that you have an open mic session coming up in
Yes.
June 6th. So would you tell, well, first of all, tell the viewers a little bit about you and who you are,
Okay.
and how you got into the singing thing, and
Right.
then talk to us about the 6th, and I think that there on the 17th there's
17th.
another event.
It might be is it the 6th? I think it's the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Will it be? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, anyway, hi, everybody. My name is Maleeka Mo, and I have a band, which when we're all together, it's Maleeka Mo and the Band of Soul. I have been singing since I was 9 years old, and I started out in church, of course. I lived in Coney Island at the time, and I always loved to sing. One day I was introduced to a place called The Door, and I met a Mr. Gilbert Price, an amazing artist. He would sing opera. He brought all different type of music, and he did want me to travel with him, but unfortunately my mom wouldn't let me. But that was my first step. And then I started doing like little hooks for rappers. And I met a band when I was 13 years old.
13. Okay.
And I started singing with the live bands. And here I am. I've been singing with these live bands ever since. I used to just do like little parties, and we opened up for Melba Moore. And of course, when you're used to, doing studio work, it's not as easy to sing with live band. But the singing with the live band has really made me grown to who I am,
Hmm.
made me understand music more, made me, just reach for higher heights. And not only that, I see so many talented people, and that's where the open mics come into play, because I would like to just help everybody just meet someone, get to, and just show their talents, whatever they can do at that point. So I met Nikki and Jamie
And
through a
that's
friend
Mickey
of mine.
Sunshine,
Yes,
one of
Miss
the
Nikki
owners of the
Sunshine,
comedy
one
club.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. And not only do they love the comedy, but they wanted to bring something else to the table. So
Hmm.
that's when a friend of mine's introduced me to Nikki, and she told me of her idea about open mics, which I've been doing for the longest time,
Hmm.
and we've been doing it with her quite often now. I also have a cousin that he does the gospel open mic. So sometimes some of the Sundays it's the gospel open mic, and then it's me with the R&B and jazz and blues, and we just welcome everything. So yeah, so we do this open mic, and we love just inviting people out to show their talent.
And the and Nikki was on the show. The Comedy in Harlem Club uh, is one of the, it may be the only
Yes,
comedy club
it really
in
is.
in Harlem,
Hmm.
and it's a very interesting place. We've had a number of people like Phyllis Stickney who performed there, and a number of other people. So
Right.
uh, it is interesting, and I know that they have a major radio program on iHeartRadio,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and I know the 17th is the boat ride that
The
they're
boat
going
ride.
to do for,
Yes. Yeah.
as
And we're
I think
supposed to
it's
be
an
performing one
anniversary.
day.
What was it? I'm not
Yes.
sure how long, but I know it's an anniversary of their relationship there.
Right. Right.
So, so tell us about what the open mic does, and what is the process.
So basically, at first Nikki started to where she would have people call in and get their tickets ahead of time. But unfortunately, that's not really how um, open mic works. It's by mouth, musicians and singers and we bring in poets, we bring in rappers. So it's by word of mouth. And I have a three-piece band because it's no need to have a full band. The three-piece band works just as well. And the people, they come out, they pay their little $10 and come on in. They get some food, get some drinks, and come and hear amazing singers
Mm-hmm.
that really don't get an opportunity to have a stage to
Right.
present what they have. So that's why I'm so I'm proud of Nikki to
Mm-hmm.
present this in Comedy in Harlem, as well as letting me have the opportunity to show continue to show what my gifts are, and bring other people to the stage to show what their gifts are. So.
Now, now I know Matt McCoy, who's the CEO of Soul City, uh, for a long period of time had the hottest poets, which they broke a number of records all over the place
Mhm.
In New York and abroad. So I know when we talk about open mics, by and Matt and Nikki, I'm sure will be talking to each other because we're all working on this GoHarlem.org event. But
Right.
that brings another thought pattern as far as maybe having poetry at comedy club, which can be interesting. Maybe it could be funny poetry,
Right.
you know, and the like. And tell us, what are some of the things you would like to see as we talk about future things happening either at the club or in your career, the things that you would like to manifest? Because first you got to have it in your mind,
Of
and
course.
once you think about it, it starts to come into reality. So, what are some of the things that you would like to manifest in your life as it relates to your career, Maleeka?
Well, as far as I am concerned, I want to do a lot of traveling to different countries. I
Mm-hmm.
consider my gift that God has given me to be a healer. That's what my music is.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I'm singing for one person or 20,000 people, I just want to make sure that I make a difference in somebody's life as far as the music is concerned. And
Mm-hmm.
also, what I want to do is, I don't see like a lot of music programs anymore, right? The children, me and Nikki, we discussed that, of having some children open mics, and just encouraging them, just different programs, because music do heal, and it
It
does.
is a healing force.
Yeah, and
Well,
it does.
sound is healing, and music is part of sound and vibration. Uh,
Right.
we used to say, get it on a good vibe,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I'm not feeling you. That means that you're not getting that type of
Right.
energy.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
can you give the viewers the address of the comedy club?
Also, the comedy club is located on 117th Street. It's more closer. I'm gonna give you the exact address because I never really can remember the exact address, but I'm gonna give it to you. But it's on 117th Street, and it's closer to the FDR Drive.
Hmm.
Most people that shop over there at Costco's, they know exactly where it is.
Right.
Right. So, Nikki's address. Let me give it to you because I don't want to get upset with me giving out wrong address now. Yeah, so she does the flyers for all the events, and they are amazing. Which she gives, and she puts everybody. She just thinks of everybody. Nikki does. I should have been prepared with this video.
And one of the things that I do know is that there's a gospel event, and there are a number of other things. And what we will do for you, the comedy club is now a member of the Harlem Tourism Board. So
Okay.
if you go to goharlem.org, we're going to be putting up information about the comedy club in Harlem. So
Right.
you'll get it that way. But if you find it, that would be good. or
Yeah. It's
comedy
just I have so much things going
comedy
on.
in Harlem dot com is also a way to check them out. It's always a pleasure to talk. What type of songs do you find that you
Well, me, I'm so
practice?
versatile. I do a lot of Anita Baker. I do Gladys Knight. I do Aretha Franklin, Jill Scott. I just a variety of all musicians.
Hmm.
We try to just honor everybody.
I
I
see.
actually recorded "Tonight Is the Night" by Betty Wright, so I'm going to be presenting that
Hmm.
very very soon,
Okay.
just to honor her. Music
And
is
when and do you actually have sets at the comedy club besides the open mic? Where people can come and kind of check you out?
Yes, I actually when we open up, I open up with a few songs. Then
Uh-huh.
I invite other singers. Then I'll before we take a break out. I start and I end. Yeah.
Right.
I try not to take up the whole time. But if we don't have enough singers, then of course I got to do more. I have background singers, so either
Hmm.
I have my background singers sing,
Hmm.
and I have a full band. But I only bring my three-piece band there because it just doesn't make sense to have a whole full band. But
Hmm.
I do a lot of opening. I've opened up for Dennis Edwards before he passed. I open up for Stephanie Mills. I do a lot of opening. But what I really am looking for right now is a good agent. Because sometimes it's just a lot of work to do your own work, or the manager is busy.
Yeah.
So I would like to just find me someone that will really, you know, work with me and try to find me, the best gigs ever. Because I just need somebody to do
So
that for.
that's what you're going to put into the manifestation of
Yes, yeah.
reality.
I need a booking agent. Somebody help.
Okay, so you put that out into
Yeah.
the universe, and
Yes.
hopefully those things will come to you.
Yes, for sure.
Well, again, thank you. This is kind of a short notice to have you come on and talk. We'll probably have to make sure that we do some more work with you, Malika.
Yes, yes.
I know that we are going to start doing a number of things with
Nikki.
Nikki, and Jamie. So I'm sure that we'll be seeing you.
I
And
want to make sure that I give the right address for the club. It is at 508 East 117th Street in Harlem, New York, of course. It's closer to the FDR where the
uh,
Costco's is. Again, that is 508 East 117th Street. And that's the club in Harlem. You'll see the sign. She always has her sign outside. Um,
well, that's great. And we'll see you soon. And
yes.
again, you can also um, by this time next week you'll have uh, a lot of information on the goharlem.org site about comedy in Harlem. So we'll be able to check you out, and people who are
Yes.
looking at the show now will be able to hear you. You have some challenging voices that you said that Nita Baker, is
Yes.
I'd like
Yes,
to
I
like to
know.
hear you do a couple of her things. So
Yes, I do. I do also have a website if anybody is interested.
sure, what's it?
Yeah, that is at malikamoent.net, and they can see a lot of my shows on there as well. So again,
And
that's Malika Mo.
what's the is that Maleeka?
No, it's Malikamo.
Okay. Mal
IKA
IKAMO.
MO.
Okay.
And that's
Well, thank you so
ENT.net.
much,
Thank
Malika.
you, Roger. Mr. Roger, I appreciate it. Whether it was last minute or not, I'm grateful. Thank you so much. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
and we'll be checking you out. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks
Okay.
for taking time out you
Yes.
know, and sit there with us.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
that's our show. There's a lot of things that are happening, and Malika said that she likes to travel, so that should have been a segue in for me to talk about our October trip to Senegal. Um, we are going back to Senegal. We'll be going October the 19th to the 28th, and I should check that myself because I've been giving these dates out, and I have to make sure that I'm giving the right one because I am doing maybe too many things here, but uh, the 19th to the 26th will be our trip. You can go to goharlem.org and actually see the down payment or the payment schedules for the trip. First down payment is due the 30th of June, and it should be something that if you have not had the experience to go to Africa, especially Senegal, because Senegal is where Gorée Island is located. And the reason why it's significant is because 4 centuries of colonizers brought slaves out of Gorée Island because it was the closest tip to the Americas. And when you look at the statistics based on the number of slaves that left Gorée Island, um, there is a strong possibility that one of your ancestors, if you're African, Caribbean, whether you are Brazilian, whether you come from Puerto Rico, whether you come from Cuba, uh, whether you're in England, wherever you are, the diaspora will be calling you back home because most of your ancestors, or many of them, came out of that Gorée Island location. Going there to visit there, there's a lot of energy. Then there is the Renaissance statue, which is one of the largest structures in Africa that is a man, a woman, and a child pointing to the Americas, which basically is saying that in order for Africa to be free, the diaspora has to be uh, awakened. I have a saying, the awakening of the sleeping giant, because all of the Africans who are throughout the world, if they begin to understand where they are and who they are, it could make a tremendous change. But nevertheless, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time to uh, to talk about some things that are important, especially the Harlem Rocket, which I can't wait for that to happen. It's going to be an interesting mixture of entertainment and fun, excitement, and it'll be a tremendous boost. We this summer is going to be interesting. It 49th anniversary of Harlem Week. Next year is the 50th. We have a new hotel that's coming in. By next year, there'll be maybe 1 or 2 more hotels coming in. We have the Harlem Rocket. We have so many different things that are taking place. Don't forget Father's Day, the bicycle classic around Marcus Garvey Park. Come out and check that out. And there are a number of different things. You should become a member of the Harlem Tourism Board. You can go to goharlem.org, become a member. Our next membership meeting is June the 28th. By next week's show, we'll have a location in Harlem where that will take place. So again, I'd like to thank the Soul City crew for helping above and beyond the call of duty as always. And thank you for taking time to listen to Urbanology, the Art of War. This is Tony Rogers signing off. Have a good day.